The Nile River, a ribbon of life. It snakes through the desert, a source of sustenance for millennia. Here, on its fertile banks, civilization took root. Ancient Egyptians, masters of agriculture and engineering, built a society that flourished for centuries. Their monuments, a testament to their ingenuity, still inspire awe, but their legacy extends far beyond their monumental architecture. This is the story of how the Nile Valley shaped the world. This is a story of cultural transmission, a story of how ideas, technologies, and people traveled from the heart of Africa to the far corners of the globe. We will explore the hypothesis that Nile Valley civilizations were foundational to global human progress. This is not a tale of a single dominant culture. It's about interconnectedness, about the exchange and adaptation of knowledge that fueled human advancement. The Nile Valley was a melting pot of cultures, a place where people from different backgrounds converged, traded, and exchanged ideas. This cultural fusion, we argue, played a crucial role in the development of complex societies. This series will take you on a journey through time and space. We will trace the threads of influence from the Nile to powerful empires. Get ready to explore the ancient world through the lens of cutting-edge research. We will delve into groundbreaking genetic discoveries that are reshaping our understanding of human history. Prepare to see the past in a new light. Our journey begins in the Nile Valley, the cradle of civilization, and follows the footsteps of our ancestors as they ventured out to shape the world we know today. For centuries, we have relied on archaeological findings and ancient texts to piece together the story of our past. These remain invaluable tools, whispering tales of bygone eras. But now, a new window into the past has opened, the world of genetics. DNA, the blueprint of life, holds secrets waiting to be unlocked. By analyzing the genetic makeup of modern and ancient populations, scientists are making startling discoveries. They are tracing the migration patterns of our ancestors, uncovering long-lost connections between seemingly disparate cultures, and revealing the surprising extent to which our world today is shaped by events of the distant past. This series integrates these groundbreaking genetic findings into the narrative of ancient history. We'll explore how the study of ancient DNA, particularly that of Neanderthals and Denisovans, sheds light on the biological and cultural hybridization that shaped ancient civilizations.
This is not just about understanding our past, it's about understanding ourselves. By exploring the genetic echoes of the past, we gain a deeper appreciation for the interconnectedness of humanity. We see how the legacy of ancient migrations and cultural exchanges lives on in our genes and in the tapestry of cultures that make up our world today.
Our journey begins in Italy, centuries before the rise of the Roman Empire. Here, a mysterious people known as the Etruscans flourished. Their origins remain shrouded in debate, their language a puzzle yet to be fully deciphered. But their impact on the nascent Roman civilization was profound. The Etruscans were masters of urban planning, skilled architects, and sophisticated metalworkers. They introduced the Romans to the arch, the chariot race, and the toga, elements that would become synonymous with Roman identity. Their influence permeated Roman religion, art, and even their alphabet.
Yet, the Etruscans were not merely teachers to the Romans, they were also rivals. Rome's early history is marked by conflict with these enigmatic neighbours, a struggle for dominance in the Italian peninsula. It was through these clashes that the Romans honed their military prowess and developed their characteristic tenacity.
But it was not just through conflict that the Etruscans shaped Rome. Intermarriage between the two peoples was common, leading to a blending of cultures and bloodlines. This hybridization we will explore was crucial in laying the foundations for Roman success. It is within this melting pot of Latin and Etruscan traditions that we begin to see the emergence of a unique Roman identity. The Latins, the people who would eventually give their name to Rome and its empire, were a hardy and adaptable people. They inhabited the fertile plains of Latium, a region known for its rolling hills and strategic location. Their society, initially based on agriculture and pastoralism, was characterized by a strong sense of community and a deep respect for tradition. Recent genetic studies suggest a fascinating possibility. The Latins, like many other European populations, carried within their DNA the echoes of Neanderthal ancestry. While Neanderthals are often depicted as brutish cavemen, their genetic legacy may have endowed the Latins with certain advantageous traits.
Neanderthals were physically robust and adapted to the harsh conditions of Ice Age Europe. Could this Neanderthal inheritance have contributed to the Latins' resilience, their ability to withstand hardship and emerge victorious from conflict? It's a question that continues to intrigue scientists and historians alike.
This resilience, coupled with their strategic location and a growing willingness to adapt and learn from their neighbors, positioned the Latins to become a dominant force in the region. But it was their encounter with the Etruscans and the subsequent hybridization of their cultures that would truly ignite the spark of Roman exceptionalism.
The blending of Latin and Etruscan traditions was not always harmonious. There were power struggles, cultural clashes, and periods of intense rivalry.
Yet from this crucible of interaction emerged a new political entity, the Roman Republic. This innovative system of governance, with its emphasis on citizen participation, checks on power, and a strong sense of civic duty, bore the hallmarks of both its parent cultures.
From the Etruscans, the Romans inherited a respect for centralized authority, a taste for grand public works, and a talent for military organization.
From their own Latin heritage, they drew upon a deep-seated sense of community, a practical approach to problem-solving, and a stubborn determination to preserve their independence.
This synthesis of strengths, born from hybridization, proved to be a potent formula for success.
The Roman Republic, though far from perfect, managed to balance the need for strong leadership with the rights of its citizens, creating a system that was remarkably resilient and adaptable.
This adaptability, this willingness to incorporate and adapt elements from other cultures, would become a hallmark of Roman expansion.
It was as if the Romans, through their own experience of hybridization, had developed a blueprint for integrating diverse peoples and territories into their ever-growing domain. As Rome grew in power and influence, it began to cast its gaze beyond the confines of the Italian peninsula. The seeds of empire, sown in the fertile ground of Latin-Etruscan hybridization, were beginning to sprout. Rome's military prowess, fueled by its hybrid vigor and strategic acumen, allowed it to overcome its enemies and incorporate new territories into its domain. But Roman expansion was not simply a matter of brute force. It was also a story of cultural assimilation and adaptation. The Romans, drawing upon their own experience of cultural blending, understood the importance of incorporating the customs and beliefs of conquered peoples into their own. This pragmatic approach to empire building, this willingness to embrace diversity while maintaining a strong sense of Roman identity, proved remarkably successful. It allowed Rome to forge a vast and enduring empire, one that stretched from the British Isles to the borders of Persia. But the story of Rome is just the beginning. As we delve deeper into the ancient world, we will trace the threads of Nile influence across continents, uncovering the surprising ways in which this ancient civilization shaped the destiny of empires and the genetic makeup of humanity. Our journey next takes us east to the windswept steppes of Central Asia, where another great empire, Persia, was forged in the crucible of migration and cultural exchange. Our journey now takes us eastward, away from the bustling cities of the Roman world, to the vast windswept steppes of Central Asia. Here, amidst rolling hills and endless skies, a new story of hybridization and empire unfolded. A story with roots reaching back to the Nile Valley. This is the story of the Iranian peoples.
The Iranians, speakers of languages that would give rise to Persian and other related tongues, were not native to the lands they would eventually rule. They were part of a larger group known as the Indo-Iranians, a nomadic people who migrated from the Pontic-Caspian steppes, bringing with them their herds, their languages, and their distinct cultural practices.
These nomadic pastoralists, skilled horsemen and fierce warriors, were drawn to the richer lands of the south. Their migrations, spanning centuries, brought them into contact with a mosaic of cultures, leading to both conflict and cultural exchange.
It is within this dynamic crucible of interaction that we begin to see the emergence of a distinctly Iranian identity. Among the cultures they encountered were those influenced by the Nile Valley civilizations.
Though geographically distant, the echoes of Egyptian and Mesopotamian achievements had reached these lands, carried by traders, diplomats, and migrating peoples.
These echoes, we will discover, would resonate within the heart of the Persian Empire. Echoes of the Nile. The Mitanni and Hurrian influence. Long before the rise of the Persians, the ancient Near East witnessed the rise and fall of numerous kingdoms and empires. Among these were the Mitanni and the Hurrians, peoples who inhabited regions bordering the mighty Assyrian and Egyptian empires. These cultures, though often overshadowed by their more powerful neighbors, played a crucial role in transmitting cultural ideas and practices across vast distances.
The Mitanni, in particular, exhibited intriguing links to the Nile Valley. Their ruling class, archaeological and linguistic evidence suggests, may have originated from an Indo-Aryan migration, bringing with them elements of an early form of Hinduism. This cultural fusion, blending Indo-Aryan beliefs with Mesopotamian traditions, created a unique hybrid society. Moreover, the Mitanni and Hurrians were in close contact with Egypt through trade, diplomacy, and even royal marriages. Egyptian art, religious motifs, and even administrative practices found their way into Mitanni and Hurrian societies, leaving their mark on their cultural landscape.
When these kingdoms eventually fell, their elites, carrying within them this blend of Nile-influenced culture, were absorbed into other emerging powers, including the growing Iranian tribes. This process of cultural transmission, often overlooked, would have a lasting impact on the character of the Persian Empire. Section 3. Synthesis and Empire. The Achaemenid Legacy. From this melting pot of cultures, a new power emerged, the Achaemenid Empire. Founded by Cyrus the Great, this vast empire stretched from the Indus Valley to the Aegean Sea.
The Persians, under Cyrus and his successors, were adept administrators, incorporating diverse peoples into a cohesive structure. Unlike previous empires, the Achaemenids adopted a nuanced approach. They allowed conquered peoples to retain their customs and rulers, fostering loyalty and stability. This policy of tolerance fostered loyalty and stability throughout the empire.
Section 4. Crossroads of Culture. Persia as a conduit. The Persian Empire, strategically located at the crossroads of Asia, Africa, and Europe, became a conduit for the exchange of ideas, technologies, and beliefs. Through extensive road networks and active trade policies, they facilitated the movement of people and goods, spreading cultural influences.
The Royal Road symbolized this interconnectedness. Along it flowed commodities, ideas, and beliefs. Persia's cultural synthesis contributed to this exchange. Adopting Aramaic facilitated communication. Persian art, blending various influences, spread along trade routes.
Persia's story is a microcosm of ancient interconnectedness. Our journey now ventures further east, following cultural threads to the Far East.
Our journey now carries us across the vast expanse of Asia to the windswept steppes of the East. Here, far from the bustling cities of Rome and the grand palaces of Persepolis, a new chapter in our story unfolds. A chapter shaped by the echoes of the Nile, carried on the winds of change.
The steppes, often seen as a periphery, were far from isolated. They were a crucible of cultures, a meeting ground for nomadic peoples and settled societies. For millennia, waves of migration had washed across these grasslands, carrying with them languages, technologies, and beliefs.
From the steppes, powerful empires had risen and fallen, leaving their mark on the course of history. It was here that the seeds of the Mongol Empire were sown, nurtured by a unique blend of cultural influences. The Mongols, a nomadic people renowned for their equestrian skills and military prowess, would rise to conquer an empire stretching from the Pacific Ocean to Eastern Europe.
Their story, often told through the lens of conquest, is also a story of cultural exchange, of the absorption and adaptation of ideas and practices from across Eurasia. Among these influences we will discover were the distant echoes of the Nile, carried eastward through centuries of interaction and exchange.
Central to this story is the Silk Road, a network of trade routes that crisscrossed Asia, connecting the East with the West. More than just a conduit for goods, the Silk Road was a river of knowledge, a channel for the flow of ideas, technologies, and cultural practices.
Along its bustling routes traveled not just merchants seeking profit, but also pilgrims carrying faiths, diplomats forging alliances, and scholars in pursuit of knowledge. Each encounter, each exchange, added to the rich tapestry of cultures that lined the Silk Road.
The Silk Road was a testament to the interconnectedness of the ancient world, a challenge to the notion of isolated civilizations developing in isolation. It was along this ancient highway that the echoes of the Nile, carried by traders and travelers, reached the Far East.
From architectural styles to administrative practices, from religious beliefs to artistic motifs, the influence of the Nile Valley civilizations filtered through intermediaries like the Persians and Sogdians left their mark on the cultures of Central Asia and beyond.
By the 13th century, the Mongols, unified under the leadership of Genghis Khan, were poised to build the largest contiguous land empire in history.
Their conquests, swift and brutal, reshaped the political landscape of Eurasia, but their impact extended far beyond the battlefield. The Mongols, despite their fearsome reputation, were remarkably pragmatic rulers.
They understood that the key to maintaining their vast empire lay not just in military might, but also in embracing the diversity of their subjects.
They adopted practices from the cultures they conquered, incorporating elements of Chinese administration, Persian diplomacy, and even Islamic law into their own governance.
This cultural adaptability extended to their embrace of trade. The Mongols, recognizing the importance of the Silk Road, actively promoted trade and cultural exchange within their empire.
This policy, rooted in their nomadic heritage and their experience of cultural blending, facilitated the continued flow of ideas and technologies across Eurasia.
It was during this period of Mongol Pax, a time of relative peace and stability within the Mongol domains, that the echoes of the Nile, carried along the revitalized Silk Road, found their way into the heart of the Mongol Empire. The story of the Nile's influence does not end with the fall of empires or the shifting sands of time.
It continues to resonate in the present day, woven into the fabric of our interconnected world.
The genetic studies mentioned at the outset of our journey have revealed the enduring legacy of ancient migrations and cultural exchanges.
The echoes of the past reverberate in the present. From the beliefs we hold to the technologies we use, from the DNA of modern populations to the languages we speak.
The story of civilization is not a linear progression, but rather a complex tapestry woven from countless threads of interaction, adaptation, and innovation.
The Nile Valley civilizations, with their early advancements in agriculture, governance, and culture, provided some of the earliest threads in this intricate tapestry.
Their influence, carried eastward and westward by the winds of change, shaped the destinies of empires and left an indelible mark on the course of human history.
As we stand at the cusp of an ever more interconnected future, it is more important than ever to remember our shared past, to recognize the threads of influence that bind us together as a species.
For in understanding our past, we gain a deeper understanding of ourselves and our place in the grand tapestry of life. Our journey has taken us across continents and millennia, from the sun-drenched banks of the Nile to the windswept steppes of Central Asia, from the bustling heart of Rome to the far reaches of the Mongol Empire.
We have traced the threads of cultural influence, the echoes of ancient innovations, and the enduring legacy of the Nile Valley civilizations.
We have seen how these early pioneers, driven by the same thirst for knowledge and the same yearning for connection that defines us today, ventured out from their cradle of civilization to shape the wider world.
They carried with them the seeds of innovation, the principles of governance, and the spark of human ingenuity, planting them in distant lands and fostering the growth of new civilizations.
The story of civilization, as we have discovered, is not a solitary melody played by a single culture. It is a symphony, a magnificent tapestry woven from countless threads of human experience.
The Nile provided some of the earliest and most vibrant threads, but they were soon joined by countless others.
As we reflect on this journey, we are reminded that the echoes of the past reverberate in the present.
The choices made by our ancestors, the ideas they exchanged, and the connections they forged continue to shape the world we inhabit today.
Their legacy lives on, not just in the ruins of ancient cities or the artifacts housed in museums, but in the very fabric of our societies. The enduring influence of the Nile Valley civilizations reminds us of our interconnectedness. We are not isolated islands.
We are part of a vast web of life, our destinies intertwined through shared ancestry and cultural exchange.
Facing 21st century challenges, this shared history is urgent.
In a world grappling with climate change and social division, we must remember past lessons.
Embrace cooperation and collaboration for our collective future.
The Nile's story is one of human potential.
It testifies to our capacity for innovation and connection.
Let us carry the wisdom of the past and work together for a brighter future.
This journey ignites our curiosity about the world and our place within it.
Understanding our past unlocks our present potential for a brighter future.
The symphony of civilization continues, and we must add our voices to its chorus.